everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be me showing you how I make pierogies using my family's recipe. So my great-grandparents both came over to the US from Poland in like the early 20th century, though they were both teenagers at the time and didn't know each other. One thing that I'm extraordinarily proud of is my Polish heritage, so I wanted to kind of showcase that today and show you one of the dishes kind of from my heritage. Today I'm going to show you how to make cheesy potato-filled pierogies. Sometimes my family also makes sauerkraut-filled ones, but we don't really like those ones as much as the potato ones, so we're not going to do those today. I'm using 5 pounds of potatoes, like a 5-pound bag. You can do more or less depending on how many you're making. If you do end up having extra potatoes, you can just stick them in the fridge and have them for like another meal. That's what we did anyway. We just stuck them in the fridge because I had a ton of extras. So here you can see that I am peeling the potatoes and cutting them into smaller pieces. I'm personally cutting them into quarters, but you can cut them as big or small as you want, or you can leave them whole. I'm just cutting them because they're going to cook a little bit faster if I do that. Once the water boiled, I went ahead and put the potatoes in and let them cook for about 15 minutes or until they got soft. After the potatoes cook, I'm going to go ahead and strain them and put them in a bowl. I did put down some paper towels and a towel to just keep the water from going everywhere. But basically, we're going to make mashed potatoes. Though I'm going to cheat a little bit and get the hand mixer out. You can totally use a masher. I'm just cheating. I then decided to use the outlet closest to me, but this is the moment I realized that the bowl was a little bit too small and I need to get a bigger one. So once I did that, I put the potatoes in and started mixing. So again, like I said, we're going to make mashed potatoes, but instead of putting like the milk and butter in, you're just going to do the potatoes. I did this in batches to just make it easier to grind up the potatoes and make them a little less lumpy. Next, I added salt and pepper to taste. And I'm just going to season with the heart. I'm not putting like a certain amount in. I'm just kind of going at it. Season with the heart. Yes, it might look like I put a lot in, but I also have a lot of potatoes. So now, this is the best part. I put the cheese in. I used about 12 ounces of cheese, but again, I measure with the heart, so, put as little or as much as you'd like in. I'm going to go ahead and mix these potatoes, cover the bowl, and get it in the fridge to cool. So I would recommend making these potatoes a few hours in advance, because you have to cool them completely before you stuff the pierogies. You can't just stick it in hot. I ended up adding more cheese in, and since it got too difficult to use the mixer, I just folded it in with a spatula. And that's what it looks like when I'm done. Now to make the dough, I started this step about an hour and a half before I wanted to make the pierogies. I started by adding 4 cups of flour into a bowl with 2 eggs, and then I added half a cup of water and half a cup of milk, and a teaspoon of salt. Next, I mixed the dough up with a fork, but then it became too sticky, so I just moved to using my hands instead. Trust me, they're clean. I promise. I mixed it until the dough wasn't super sticky to the touch, but still stuck together because you need it to seal when you start making the pierogies. After I made the dough, I prepped the table. I just put down some wax paper so that the pierogies don't stick to the table. Then I floured my work surface and brought my dough over. And I rolled my dough out. I tried to roll it as even as I could, so the pasta has an even thickness, but that's not my strong suit, so yeah, it might be a little uneven, but try your best to get it to have kind of an even thickness. So here you see I'm going to cut these circles of dough out. I am using a biscuit cutter, but you could also use a glass if you don't have a biscuit cutter. Then I rolled them out to make them a little thinner. Once I rolled the dough out, I started to stuff my pierogies. It took me a while because I haven't practiced in a few months, but finally I got the hang of it. You just put a spoonful of mashed potatoes that we made earlier in the center, and take a fork and seal the edges. I want to make sure the edges were sealed properly, or else water will get into the pierogi and make it soggy. I promise, when you see me touching the filling, I did wash my hands. They're clean. Don't worry. And here's what they look like after I shaped them. While I'm waiting for my pierogi water to boil, I'm going to go ahead and prep my onions. I'm julietting 2 onions, and then I'm going to get a pan on the stove and put some butter in it. Once the butter melts, I'm going to go ahead and put the onions in and cook them till they're soft and see-through. You can break up the onions, it kind of helps them cook a little bit better. And now I'm going to let them cook, stirring them every now and again so they don't burn to the bottom of the pan. Once the water boils, I'm going to drop the pierogies in the water, let them cook for about 5 minutes until they float to the top. And I also heated up a can of sauerkraut on the back burner to go with it. So once my pierogies started to float, I removed them from the water and went ahead and served them. I put some onions and sour cream on top and the sauerkraut kind of as a side dish. And that's what the finished product looks like. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button. If you like what you see on my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, because I know you want to see more of me or more of my cats. It's the cats, I know. It's fine. Go ahead and leave a comment what you guys want to see next on my channel, or what kind of stuff you want to see for Vlogmas, because that's coming up soon. So yeah, again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!